and this is a really difficult time, but also a time of tremendous opportunity at our universities across the country.
I grew up in Northern Virginia, and I can remember when GMU was an offshoot of the University of Virginia system. Now it is a highly respected university in its own right. Let's talk a little bit about what the fall is going to look like before we get, and one of the parts of it is going to be those robots. We'll get to that in a minute. What are you going to do? How much is going to be in classroom? How much is going to be remote learning? And then I'll get to the question about foreign students and whether they're going to be able to, whether you're going to be able to enroll them as you would like. What's it going to look like?
Well, so it's going to look very different. We will have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 45% of our classes online, which will amount to somewhere in the neighborhood of about 25 to 50% of our students on campus at any given time. We have a large commuter population relative to our total number of students on campus. So in any given day, you're still going to see upwards of 10 to 12,000 students on campus, but that's a far cry from the 25 to 30,000 in which we normally see here.
So many of them will be doing distance learning. They'll be hooked up by computer, but some of their classes will be on campus and they'll attend, right?
That's right. We will have somewhere in the neighborhood of about half of our actual classes, and many of them are smaller classes, but about half of our classes will actually be here on campus, where students will have face-to-face learning. The bulk of our larger classes will be online.
Will be online. Let's go to the question of international students. There is a tussle. Clearly, it's not resolved just yet. About international students, I know you have quite a few of them. They tend to be, from a revenue standpoint, relatively more lucrative than domestic students. What's going to happen there, and what's your stance on it?
Well, look, American institutions are among the best institutions in the world, are the best institutions in the world for educating all students. So clearly, we have foreign students who come from all over the world to our country, and George Mason is no different for an education. We have to provide that opportunity. We have to continue to educate the world's population. It's a tremendous benefit to the U.S., but it's also a tremendous benefit to the countries in which these students leave and go to. And so the challenges we are currently dealing with in terms of some of the back and forth with our administration on how these students can enter the country, whether they can, whether they can't. We're now at a great place, and that the students actually can enter. So, look, this is going to work itself out, but we've been a country of opportunity and hope, and that will continue. I have no doubt in my mind that over the next few years, we will continue to see growth of students from all over the world coming here and continuing to be a part of.
Let me get a quick thought on these. Let me get a quick thought, and I have one more question after. Let me get a quick thought on the robots and what are they going to do? Deliver food to the dorms, deliver food to classroom buildings, and so forth.
All of the above. We're going to use the robots in a significantly greater capacity. Last year we did about 30,000 deliveries over the 2019-2020 academic year. We're going to do something exceeding that this year. Look, it's the best mechanism we've had to avoid the transmission of COVID virus, right? There's very few touch points where it's human to human when you're using the actual robots for delivery.
Dr. Washington, you have at the school there begun some initiatives about inclusiveness, diversity, and things that are very, very timely. I'm a graduate of the University of Virginia, whose founder was Thomas Jefferson, a slave owner. George Mason University is named after George Mason, one of the great founding fathers, one of the inspirations of the Bill of Rights. He had a very conflicted viewpoint on slavery. He was a slave owner who opposed the slave trade. He, unlike George Washington, did not free his slaves in his will. How are you, as the president, grappling with the legacy of George Mason, the name of the university, as you take this job on?
Well, look, this is a great question. I will tell you that the legacy of George Mason kind of mirrors the legacy of the country, right? For years, we were highlighted ourselves as being the land of the free, the home of the brave, yet we enslaved a large percentage, significant percentage of our residents. We are embracing that issue here at Mason. We are embracing the legacy and the past that George Mason had, and using that as an opportunity to look at the lives of those people he enslaved, to look at their contributions to society, to their contributions to the corresponding area. And we have found some amazing things in terms of what kinds of contributions these individuals have had. It is a difficult subject. Look, 9 U.S. presidents owned slaves, and only George Washington freed his slaves upon his death. And so this is a topic and a subject that we're going to spend a significant amount of time. We think that we've done it the right way. We have a George Mason shrine that we have in place, that we've put in place to look at the contributions of all of the individuals that have been enslaved, the many of the individuals that have been enslaved in his lifetime. And that embracing of those contributions, along with the life of George Mason himself, we think provides a more holistic view of the contributions of the man and the contradictions of the man.
Dr. Washington, welcome to Virginia. Good luck with your initiatives this fall with respect to both diversity and just getting the school back open. I should point out that Kelly Evans is a graduate of another great Virginia university, Washington and Lee. I came from Charlottesville and the University of Virginia. So these discussions that we just had here, these are very personal. I know to Kelly, I know to myself, and clearly we wish you all the best as you take on these new duties at GMU. Congratulations on your appointment. Kelly.
Thank you very much.